f of x equals 2x plus 1. So f just represents the title of the function. We would refer to this as a function f in terms of x, which is the variable that will be used. So this takes x and it assigns it to 2x plus 1. So you take in an x, multiply it by 2, and add 1 to get your output. So for example, if we were to evaluate this function at 1, we would have f of 1 equal to 2 times 1 plus 1. We would replace everywhere we see an x with a 1. So just to clarify, when x equals 1, f of x equals 2 times 1 plus 1, or 3. All right, let's evaluate the function at x equals negative 4. F of negative 4 is equal to 2 times negative 4 plus 1. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus 1 is negative 7. So then you have f of x equals negative 7. All right, let's try a different function. There's a different function. Now let's try to evaluate the function at a few different values. There we are. By the way, in case you're new to the word evaluate, evaluate is just kind of a fancy way of saying plug in this value for x and tell me what you get. For whatever reason, a lot of students seem to stumble over evaluate and they think it's something a lot more complicated. It's not. So when we see evaluate f of x at x equals 3, that means that we plug 3 into this part of the equation. So f of 3 means that we replace everywhere we see an x with a 3. Likewise, if we want to evaluate f of x at x equals negative 2, we figure out what f of negative 2 is. So we plug in negative 2 everywhere we see an x. X equals 5, same thing. F of 5 is equal to 1 over 5 squared plus 2. All right, so that means that f of 3 is equal to 1 over 11. That's 3 squared plus 2 on bottom. Next up, 1 over negative 2 squared plus 2. That gives us a 6 on bottom. And then 1 over 5 squared plus 2. 5 squared is 25, plus 2 is 27. So there you are. You've successfully evaluated a function at 3 different values.